Welcome everybody to the last game of the night. We are now in the fourth game of the quadruple header here. This should be a fun one. Division 2, Titans of Alterna Orange versus Splatlanders. Winner of this one moves on to the next round. The loser, of course, eliminated here in Division 2. My name is Kyon. Inkai joins me on the mic. Before we begin, Inkai, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I can already feel this is gonna go better than the last time I did it because I didn't lock myself out this time. So I think we're off to a good start.
That's step one. It's not locking yourself out. I'm glad to have you aboard. Both teams are waiting for reasons I will not disclose. But let's get ourselves started here to set the picture forward. Splatlanders, the winning out Group 1, finishing first in that particular group. Titans of Alterna is the second place team in Group 4 of Division 2. Both teams gonna be duking out against each other here. And right now for Splatlanders, they have been undefeated in the regular season so far. Titans Alterna only dropping one. I'm hoping, Inkai, that we get to go the distance for this particular game, or for this particular set. Excuse me.
Yeah. I actually not really familiar with either of these two teams, so I would like to see them play online, just to get a feel for them. I'm looking at their player card right now, and they have some pretty interesting weapons. I see Titans of Alterna, they put on their stats thing. They said Dreadringer, and I love Dreadringer. That weapon is so fun. So I can't wait to see if they pull it out or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always a fan of very silly choices throughout. Now we do have our keys to victory here, while both teams are getting themselves settled in. It looks like they're just buckling up for a few moments. Kicking things into gear here, we got Titans of Alterna Orange. I mentioned before, 4-1. Side their keys victory, and it's a doozy, so bear with me on this one. Their keys victory, they got 3 right here. Whale is a strong way to move in, using our strikes however necessary and back when needed to force a push. And then their second one, Tent and the range are the key targets here. And then of course the big one here in the third point, best of 9 doesn't make a difference. Lock it until the set is decided and stay calm and focus. Also, one game at a time. I think Titans of Alterna are already in playoff mode mentally.
Yeah, keeping a fresh mind and keeping a cool head is very important during these sets. I can guarantee, I can attest to this because I did not do that, and that's why I went 1-4.
I mean, lessons aside, there, Inka, I can definitely get you on that front. Keys to victory for Splatlanders, real quickly. Love this one. Don't skill issue, or if you do, make sure you have cooler. Make sure, obviously, don't put yourself in a position where you're being left with the skill issue that dictates the game. Keeping up with the aggression, love that one. If you can stay aggressive throughout all facets of the game, that'll be important. And Chris's flex picks will either cost us or win us game 9 when he goes Clash. I'm hoping that for Splatlanders' safety, that they hopefully don't get to game 9 if they ever have to. But if that's the case, keep an eye out on Chris. See if that happens. I'm, again, as you mentioned before, with Dreadringer, many different weapons. I'm really excited to see the breadth of weapons that both teams are willing to dish out.
Yeah, we're gonna hope that actually, I kind of want to see the clash on Scorch Rainmaker instead of one of the 2 tower control games. I think because that's a bold move. Because usually when you pick Clash Blaster, you just want to be you just want to cheese tower control with it. But it has a good kit. Clash has a really good kit. If only that kit was on a not Clash, like we'd be seeing it a lot. But other than that, you also seem to have Splatlanders seems to have a 100% win rate on Splatzones this season, which is actually pretty impressive. And Titans of Alterna's, their best mode is Rainmaker, so they're both going to each have 2 maps with their best modes. So we get to see if either of those teams can best each other in their best modes.
I'm gonna need a few seconds here because I did not expect 3 rollers on the board to get the night started. Okay. It's a vanilla big swing from Titans of Alterna. On the other side, they have 2 rollers. So the normal roller and the dynamo roller are actually reasonable choices for how this works. But they got the Wiper, and of course, Rainmaker Holder is your tent umbrella. Who's, for whatever reason, Splatlanders have managed to win out this fight. They get the easy checkpoint on the right-hand side, no problem. And that'll be 60 points remaining. That's a great start overall. Running into the Trizuka shots. At that point, Titans of Alterna are starting off just a little behind to get things started there, but they are able to temper this one through. Big thing for Splatlanders, at least, is getting the checkpoint, so that's a really good start for them.
Titans of Alterna is trying to push back in. The Big Swing is a very interesting choice because the Big Swing with the Dreadringer actually can pull out can output a lot of paint because both of those are very high painting and very high painting AoE weapons along with the back support from the Big Swing. But as it is, Cyan is running. Oh, he all got into 24, almost getting a knockout. They're running that pretty much for free, catching Titans of Alterna off guard. But they're able to take him down before he can get past the now newly inkable choke point on the Splatlanders left, Titans of Alterna's right. Because after the new rework that Undertow got, it was last week. Yeah, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, it was last week.
Yep. Yeah, after, as you mentioned before, with the rework of Undertow, it actually makes this left side push a little bit more treacherous for the teams defending this one because they're not having to deal with the uninkable choke point, as you mentioned. So right out the gate, Splatlanders, by the way, playing this one very smart. They also got the wipeout on top of it too. So the attempted offense that Titans of Alterna had is shut down entirely. So again, going back to the earlier push, Splatlanders was very smart going on the left-hand side. They got the right-hand checkpoint. No reason to force right anymore. Now they're going to try to see if they can set up once more. Splatlanders is still trying to dictate this game with their own pace. Dreadringer going down isn't going to help matters. Titans of Alterna have to clamp down on defense this time.
Alright. Oh, okay, the T-Tech pulling out the strikes in order to take out the Rainmaker, but the Wiper runs into the Rainmaker shield. Now they're going to be now Titans of Alterna is going to be able to their own counter push with a solid amount of map control too, and with the paint output that the Dread and the Big Swing can put out, they can hold that map control for a while as well. Oh, it seems they're gonna they're gonna use the Big Swing to back the cheese the checkpoint, but unfortunately gets taken out by the Wiper with the stab. They're able to break the checkpoint, but having to sacrifice 3 members of their team, I don't know if that's gonna be worth it. Oh, and now then a wipeout on their side as well. This is gonna be a rough push because the Splatlander is also going to start setting up on their left to even try to extend their lead even farther than it already is right now.
And the big thing too is they kind of had to throw people up there just to get the first checkpoint cleared if they want to get a second chance. Because here's the important thing: they already cleared out both checkpoints. They're trying to see if they can continue this pace a little bit further here as the jumps come in and they're able to make this one down to 13 points. Remaining. The Wiper only one alive, and that would be on Jerry's side, but that's going to be okay. Splatlanders able to extend the lead, and I love that they're still being aggressive on this left-hand side. They realize this lead may not be safe after breaking through the checkpoint. They're trying to see if they can get a little bit more points on the board. Love what they're doing so far, as we do see the brush from Titans of Alterna trying to, scatter out the rest of Splatlanders to no success. They have gone 3 down. Rainmaker stuck in a neutral position. Going to be curious to see how the last minute 15 go.
Okay. The Big Swing on Titans of Alterna is trying to pull out, trying to get control to see if that Rainmaker shot can clear out. The Rainmaker does actually end up being able to pick one, and then as they slowly get back to the mid, the Wiper and the Roller are right next to each other. Big Swing trying to see if he can poke him out. They're able to get the Wiper, seeing they try to make a push out of this, but they got to make sure that Roller is taken care of because if you forget, you do not want to forget about a Roller because if you do, that Roller will come back behind you to haunt you. Kind of like that, except I didn't expect it to be the Dynamo.
I mean, the Dynamo just is. Roller jump scares are always the worst kind of feeling to have each go round now, and the big thing here too now becomes Titans of Alterna they're almost trying to panic right now because they're trying to get the Rainmaker set up on their end in order to make this one happen, but by picking up this Rainmaker on Splatlanders, they can now stall out the timer as much as possible. Wannasplat is just keeping this one far away, and Splatlanders are able to win on a lot of these fights. This is just going to be 10 seconds left on the clock. Watch out for the Ink Brush, though. This Ink Brush is trying to rush right in. They're not able to get it, and that is going to be that. Even with the timer running down here, Inkai, it's going to be Splatlanders taking home game 1. That was very well played by Splatlanders, despite the very scary brush that was going to be coming up right in front of them.
Yeah, oof. But the insane push that Splatlanders was able to do, but the solo Rainmaker push, able to get them down to 24, and then the second push after that, allowing them to go to 13, was really was a huge play because they kept putting after that they were able to play on defensive and still keep Titans of Alterna on the back foot because there's many times where they were trying to push, but those pushes ended up failing and leading to them all getting wiped.
And I love that Splatlanders were able to shift gears, and the fact that they were able to just get that first checkpoint super early allowed themselves to it allowed themselves to set themselves up for success later on, and that's a really good start for the group. Now, I'm still gonna have to mentally process that I just saw 3 rollers, let alone a vanilla big swig in the big stage of all things there. But it definitely there were definitely ideas that we saw coming out from Titans of Alterna that they may want to try to reboot that one just a tiny bit more, because again, Splatlanders they were able to kick this up into second gear for the most part. Now, the next map is going to be Museum de Alfonsino, where Trizugas can definitely work out. I wouldn't be shocked if Dynamo does come back. I don't think the Vanilla Big Swing comes back unless they're really trying to cook up something behind the scenes. So I'm going to be curious to see the change in strategy that Titans Alterna may have.
Yeah, I'm not expecting the big swig. If they do, I'm gonna think it would be the express big swig, because rain can be pretty helpful. But as well with since Splatlanders also has a wiper, it's vac is not quite as free as it normally would be, and the roller as well, but more so the wiper.
Yeah, and that's gonna be. And I feel like there's a lot of theories that could happen. Obviously, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's a total wholesale change here too, because those were some wild weapons. I'll say that much coming into Rainmaker. So they could just be a total could be some total weapon changes. Maybe they're just gonna throw us off. And they're just gonna go flex on everything here tonight.
I mean, yeah, I like seeing a bunch of new weapons get pulled up, especially on stream too, because they know they're on stream. Maybe they're gonna try to make a little show for the fans at home.
I feel like I've gone through an arc of Splatoon. It's pretty much the arc of Inca. I'll say this much: like, as a person who has watched so many sports, I love to see crazy strategies, just crazy things happening through. I know the fans want these weapons being dished out by some of these players, or some crazy things like Dreadbringers, big swigs, you name it. Me personally, I would love to see everything go wacky. I also wouldn't mind seeing maybe a few stronger picks every now and then. And the reason why I alluded to sports there is we gotta see the entertainment kind of come out in full swing here. I feel like I've rambled long enough though, Inkai, but that's kind of what I love to see though, is a little bit of excitement. Maybe I would love seeing just crazy weapon choices.
Oh, just in time, we're now starting game 2 on Clan Blitz Museum d'Alfonsino. Okay, Titans of Alterna is still running the same comp, trying to see if they can vac cheese the power clamps into the goal. Splatlanders taking a similar comp, but instead of the Dynamo, they're replacing it with the Heavy Edit for probably, I'm guessing, for greater overall general mobility and paint pressure as well, because apparently I thought that because Heavy Edit actually has quite long range. I had thought that Mini had more range, but apparently Heavy Edit actually does, which surprised me. So it can work as a
sometimes it may end up working for their case, and in the case for Heavy Edit, as you mentioned, is just a cooler flex over to the other side. We wasted no time though. Splatlanders already kickstarting this push off really strong. They got 4 small clams in. They already broke through the barrier with the first power clam in tow. That's really all it's going to be though. It's just the 68 points remaining. Possibly, yes, it will just be the 68 points remaining. They were just trying to clear out the rest of Titans of Alterna as much as they could on that push. But again, what I love so far with Splatlanders is one of their goals, one of their keys to victory here is being aggressive. They're doing that really quickly so far. Less than a minute into the game, they're already getting started with their first push. Whether it's checkpoints and Rainmaker or just the first push and Clan Blitz, they're doing just that, and they're getting some very early leads here. Just love to see if they can try to extend it. Titans of Alterna, they may be able to. Titans of Alterna is wiped out. Here's another push.
Yeah, Splatlanders is really good at being aggressive, because even like when their pushes fail, they're still able to take out like 1 or 2 of Titans of Alterna's members, meaning that it's easier for them to go back in, because Titans of Alterna is gonna have to spend that little bit of extra time in order to wait for some of their players to regroup, so they can more comfortably take back mid once they have the advantage. And wait, okay. I was not ready for that. They went from that push, they were all able to go from 68 down to 14. Dang.
Yeah. Yeah, and the big here too is because again, this aggressive play that Splatlanders has been dishing out has been phenomenal. The Titans of Alterna have been caught way off guard with just this aggressive play that Splatlanders has been dishing out here, and they're still paying as much as they can. They're using the Tenebral, just kind of flipping between shield mode and fire mode at this point. Using the Raizuka, which may not get value. No, it will definitely not get value. Countered by the ink back of all things. But again, Splatlanders are playing their brand of Splatoon. They're playing as aggressive as they can. They're trying to see if they can find any more value out of this one. Just gonna get denied with the Ink Crush easily. But at that stage though, they're still keeping up. They're still playing to their tempo. I love that what Splatlanders is doing. We're gonna be curious to see if they can do it again. They're already taking out 2 members out of Titans of Alterna.
Yeah, trying to see if the Aftershock, trying to see if they can try to see they can be able to push in and get a jump. Fortunately, that's not going to quite work out, but that push is going to provide as a good distraction for the other members of the team to get in, set like Tenebral setting Bazooka, picking off 1, almost getting 2. But unfortunately it goes down to the opposing side's T-Tech, throwing out the strikes, being able to at least stop this push temporarily, taking out the roller, set up the bubble, but can't really follow up anything with it. But going 3 down, wipeout on the set of Titans of Alterna is gonna allow Splatlanders to get that power claimant and continue their push. They only need under 30 points, now only 6 because they have the power claim in the reserve, and with the final 2 clams going for the knockout, sealing game 2 for Splatlanders.
And Splatlanders' aggression just continues to be left unpunished the entire way through. We see where Titans of Alterna were trying to do their best, with the comp that they're doing here, but they've played a lot of defensive ink backs, and the brush just hasn't been able to get as much space as they can. Same thing with the Tenatech from the rest of the group. Once that wipeout was there, pretty much at this point, it was almost just GG well played, because this is just full map territory. They were already in the lead the entire way through. And Splatlanders, there's no response, and Splatlanders is just easy to get more points in. And again, going back to what I mentioned in the past two games, they're getting really early pushes in with less than a minute to go. They could repeat the same way coming up into zones, and both teams are just gonna load right into it. There are no substitutions from what it looks like any through for the night. So I'd like to see if Titans of Alterna has a few adjustments here. Maybe I wouldn't again continue to be shocked if they are gonna continue to run Big Swig for this particular map.
Yeah, Bakshi's is very strong, but also Zones. Zones is, in fact, I believe, Splatlander's #1 best mode, but it is a little bit slower. So if they get a wipe, instead of them trying to basically rush to the objective to score points, my guess is that they're gonna try to rush to the to either the Roboramen, I forgot what specifically it's called, but their core, in order to try to lock them out in order to score as many points on the zone as possible, because you have to sit through a guaranteed amount of a set amount of in order to be able to win the game.
Yeah, and right now and the big thing I want to see out of Titans of Alterna is how do you punish this crazy aggression that Splatlanders is doing, because Splatlanders is turning that aggression into major 3 or wipeout scenarios the entire way through. Here, so Titans of Alterna looking to see if they can make it, if they have any adjustments up their sleeve. They're going to keep it with the same trend. It looks like they are going to be keeping to the same trend for the most part, but hey, why not have 2 Dreadringers on the board? You got double Reef Letters up the wazoo, Cyan switching over to the regular roller, and Ampri actually is going to be switching over to the, oh my goodness, that is a roller with the screen.
Yeah, screen's actually I feel like screen's actually pretty good on this map, because the main choke can get pretty much covered by all the screen, and as right now the zone, the screen basically covers that entire area with the zone and the low ground flanks as well, to at least be able to provide cover and or a slight chip. But as what's been happening as before, Splatlander is able to push back Titans of Alterna, making them go 3 down, and are securing their defensive position on the zone, making sure that none of the top members of Titans of Alterna can push in comfortably.
And Titans of Alterna were able to win out some of those fights there for the most part. The only thing I'd be a little concerned about, now only a little, is just some of the pain output that could have. They don't have a constant shooter on the board for the most part, other than just the heavy-headed. Dreadbringer does assist a little bit with that to help build up some Reef Slider. So I would be surprised if Splatlander is gonna have to resort to maybe to relying a little bit on the Reef Slider to at least retake zone. This is at least a decent advantage for Titans of Alterna, though. They are able to win out a lot of these fights. Again, they're going 2 down. They've already taken decent control of Splatlander's area. They're out of the penalty points, but the problem starts to become if you're going to be caught off guard by just that sheer roller there. Chris goes in with the Reef Slider, gets the quick zone split. Both teams are just using Reef Sliders to get zones retake left and right. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this in the next 3 minutes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Titans of the Dreadbringer on Titans of Alterna is unfortunately going to go down, allowing the Splatlanders to break through their penalty. And never mind. I guess they got the zone. Okay, now they're going to start breaking through their penalty. Yeah. In order to get closer to that knockout, along with keeping them out, instead of using the Reef Slider to try to get a quick kill or two, is able to, but the Flingza unfortunately lives because the hitbox on that special is a little questionable. I'm gonna be real.
Well, we can leave it at that for just a few more moments there. 15 points remain, and that Trizuga is a Trizuga moment for the ages. Because at this point, Titans of Alterna are stuck in respawn. They are stuck down with the Splat timers, and Splatlanders is just gonna be up 3-0. And at this point, Splatlanders is still keeping up pace wise. Titans of Alterna are almost having to match the tempo of how Splatlanders has been playing this entire night during this entire set. And I still have yet to see the response that Titans of Alterna have. They're still sticking with the main 3 of the Brush, the T-Tech, and the Dreadbringer that has not found success so far. Something will have to change gameplay-wise from Titans of Alterna for this particular set.
And they're going to the main problem I'm trying to see is like if they can find a way to adapt and either to have a more solid defense to hold out against the constant aggression that Splatlanders is pushing through, or trying to see if they can do any comp switches that can speed up their playstyle, so they can at least try to be closer to Splatlander's tempo.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I want to see here is if Titans of Alterna can try to either find any sort of off angles or any sort of avenues that they can to pretty much catch Splatlanders off guard. Now, as I mentioned before, this has been Splatlanders just running circles around Titans of Alterna as much as possible here. And the way that this entire set has gone is there has been a lot of weapon flexes from Splatlanders. They've been very versatile this entire evening. Not much has changed from Titans of Alterna, almost trying to run with what has gotten them certain victories here, but it's almost running into the wall. The brick wall of aggression, I'll say, out of Splatlanders, where Splatlanders are just going to be in your face. They're going to try to punish you left and right. They're going to try to catch you off guard. This is probably not a bad map to see if you can recoup, because there are ways to work around this map in general. Love to see what Titans of Alterna tries to change around.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they can do. Maybe unless the Titans of Alterna also their roller player also could switch to regular roller, because bubble is very valuable on this map, because a lot of the because the tower goes through a very thin hallway during during its track, so that would actually be really helpful in securing an area for the tower to go through. But then again, Splatlanders also has that roller on this side, so it's gonna be a two-way street if that's the case.
Yeah, and right now we are looking in a scenario here for Splatlanders where they're pretty much two maps away from making it to the next round. This has been a very successful season for Splatlanders. Their Titans of Alterna again finishing second in their group in Group 4. It's with a 4-1 season record. There's still plenty of time for this group to still come back here, but this map is almost the pivotal map to do so, because if you lose this one, they're going to be in reverse sweep territory if they want to win out the set, where it can get a little taxing with each passing game that gets played. So a lot of things really to keep an eye on. I would love to. Pinecone is from Titans of Alterna still trying to figure things out. Wanna Splat still trying to see if they want to pick a different weapon, I'd imagine, or just still trying to iron out some strategies here. But we should be queuing up into this one. Again, Gameplay-wise, Splatlanders' aggression continues to be confused a little bit of Titans of Alterna left and right. Titans of Alterna tried to respond with the Reefsliders to not much success. So I think we do get to see another unique roller change. Yep, it's going to be the Dynamo Roller this time from Titans of Alterna. Something to keep an eye on because they got cooler options. On the other side, that is a Clash! That's a Clash Blaster, I'm pretty sure, and that's one spot, by the way, with the Inkjet Brella.
Yeah, Clash Blaster, you know, it's Clash Blaster on tower control. It is very good at just poking around the enemy, even if like the time to kill is very slow. Oh, you can already get like a couple of hits off before you die, so like they can usually be at around half. Now Splatlanders is continuing their trend of fast wipeouts and pushes. Now they just got a wipe and now are trying to push the tower. Already broke the first check and are approaching the second check as of right now. Along Inkjet on the side, Inkjet from the Brella trying to stall out left side. Sorry, left side. Oh, okay. But unfortunately goes down to the brush after the landing. They are able to break through second check, but now it is time for Titans of Alterna to start trying to do their own counter push, and especially now because that they're swapped to the Dynamo, which has cooler now, so their deaths are going to be a little less punishing once they have that cooler out.
Yeah, and you know there too with the cooler. Well, I'll hold on to that thought here for a bit here because one Splat and just both went down. This is going to be This was a decent attempt here from Titans of Alterna to not much success. In the grand scheme of things, so it looks like this is still being pushed here by Splatlanders, who just cleared the second checkpoint earlier during this push, able to get 4 more points on the board, but they are able to stop them out big time. I would again continue to see how Splatlanders plays this one out here in Kai with the way the Splash Bash is getting used, especially with getting one.
Yeah, great flank from the Clash Blasters, able to get a pick before jumping out, which get a pick for jumping out, but now unfortunately they are now on the back foot as Titans of Alterna breaks through the first check. They're trying to see if they can extend their push, but unfortunately it goes 3 down, so that seems like that's going to be end of that. Well, now Splatlanders is going to come back with another counter push with the cooler and popping the Inkjet at the same time. See, and ends up getting one, gets the brush and I think the T-Tech on the off the camera, but I'm pretty sure that was the Inkjet.
Yeah, and that's a critical thing too for Splatlanders, because at this point you're 2.5 minutes in, and you already have a decent lead. They're just trying to look to see if they can extend or possibly go into that KO territory there for the most part. As the heavy hitter is still firing from range, that's another wipeout to boot here. And they are just doing a great job. Still, Titans of Alterna still trying to find avenues to work through. They gotta figure out how to solve the riddle of this roller who's just been a menace. On top of it, and there's the Trizuka. Another Trizuka moment lands on the Ampri. It's 3 down. They're able to stop this push very nicely. Here, Ankai, I again would love to see if Titans of Alterna still looking to work around the entire map here for the most part, see if they can get any advantages. But Splatlanders has been playing this one very well.
They have solid plane control of mid, and the brush is able to find its way in using the whale in order to cover fire for himself, to allow him to roll in, and is able to get a couple picks off. He's trying to hold this left side as the tower is continuing to start counting down on their second checkpoint. But unfortunately they get wiped. And now Splatlanders is continuing to try to see if they can push the tower to even more past 30.
And the big thing here too, for Splatlanders is they're doing a very good job on defense, and as you know, the wipeout is making it at Titans of Alterna not only have to respawn, they have to recapture as much map as much as they can here. But the roller going down is not going to help Splatlanders attempt to run this one back a bit. But I think they're going to be okay. This is kind of at the point where the timer is starting to heavily favor Splatlanders for the most part. Reef Slider is just going to be breaking through the umbrella for the most part, but Titans of Alterna still have no responses. Nice little wipe out there for Splatlanders, and Splatlanders might be able to drive this one home here, Inkai.
I just wanted to take a note at Chris's flanks, because his flanks through the right jump on Manton have actually been really effective, as he was able to pressure out the Dread Ringer and even get a pick in order to see if they try to like, extend their lead, which they were able to by a couple points.
Yeah, and now the last 10 seconds are going to be coming in here. These are the trip strikes to secure the zone, but they're going to throw a bomb for the most part. The Dynamo is just there lurking large. They're actually able to win out too, but unfortunately, the Brella finds their way into the tower, and it just shuts down the counterattack that Tons of Alterna had. Inkai Splatlanders is in match point, or they will soon be the team to win the 5 maps in this best of 9, and all they gotta do is win 1 more the rest of the way. Here, Titans of Alterna now have to win the next 5 if they want to have a chance.
Next up is Humpback Rainmaker, which should be a very strong map for not only the Dragon but also rollers, because of the slopes. Both of those weapons are able to take advantage of how their ink curves, and they're able to hit either above or below the curves in order to have very strong pressure. Especially the Dread Ringer with how much pain he can give out, and Dynamo, because Dynamo's actually very good on Humpback. Not necessarily Rainmaker, but it has coolers, so it can still work fine on there.
I'd be more curious to see. How the many different options that excuse me, with the cooler here could help Titans of Alterna. In this case, they did bring up the Dynamo from the previous map. Would that be a weapon that could help Titans of Alterna here to at least keep the set alive?
Yeah, because like, especially in like mid, if Dynamo's in that little cubby area that's like in mid, you can pretty much from below it swing and like hit like almost that entirety of like the upper area. So it's gonna provide very strong pressure, and how curved and slow the map is, it can provide the Dynamo user a lot of cover in order for you to be able to pressure areas safely.
All right. And now Titans of Alterna still having to work their way through. Here, as mentioned before, they have to win the remaining maps if they want to win the set here. Just 1 more left for Splatlanders. They've done a really good job throughout this entire set. Just as I mentioned before, with keeping up with that aggression. They're doing a great job, just shutting down Titans of Alterna as much as possible. You're now at a point now where it's going to be 1 map at a time for Titans of Alterna to see if they can do anything at this point. We noted here too, Dynamo still, I believe, going to be coming out here. More rollers, plenty here. It's dueling Dynamos for the most part here. It's pretty much, I think, the same weapons from map 1 being used here. So I'm gonna be curious to see if this Humpback Rainmaker has any differences. Inkai, this should be hopefully a fun one.
Yep. Cyan's able to get the initial pop, and he's trying to set up a push. The roller made an attempt to clear out people on their right checkpoint, but was unable to do so. But goes back, and now Titans of Alterna is down to going to allow Splatlanders to get the first check, and even then they even be able to take out 2 of the other members. And the tent can flare out the shield and provide an easy protection for the Rainmaker, allow them to score more points. But the whales force them to go back and allows them to get poked for the Dynamo. That was a very clutch whales coming from the Ink Rush on the side of Titans of Alterna right there.
I think that the whales definitely popping that whale, being able to run having to run backwards because the whale pressure was just much too strong was mean a whole lot. But it looked like they're just gonna they popped the right checkpoint, and then they decided to say, hey, let's just go for the left checkpoint inside and try to force the push that way. This is a very bold move for the most part from Splatlanders, and it's not seeming to work out right now because Z-Tech was just trying to swim in. Chris still somehow stays alive with that Rainmaker. They're trying to get all the setup back here, and time again making the jump. They're still forcing this left-hand side. This is a very unconventional push here. The Reef Slider just clearing out space, if anything. Inkai, this has been a very interesting hold here for the most part for the Splatlanders, but they get the wipeout, and Splatlanders might be able to push on that left-hand side finally.
Yeah, you don't really see the left check on Humpback, considering how out of the way it is, but but Splatland was able to win the war of attrition to wipe them and be able to make the jump, but that's unfortunately not going to score them that many more points, and now being wiped, now them getting wiped by Titans of Alterna allows them to get a really fast right check and clearing out 2 with the whale and can potentially retake the lead here, and they do. They push it down all the way to 10, almost the wipeout, but the Dynamo was able to swing from below in order to kill them. Tries to get another push in, but gets stopped by the wiper. However, Splatlanders is down 2, but but the roller is behind them to see if they try to make another just in order to save the push.
And now things are going to get a little bit more treacherous from Splatlanders for the most part. They had to pick up that Rainmaker and just drop it down here, and this is the biggest wake-up call that Splatlanders is going to have for this particular map. But the good news here, it is Humpback Rainmaker. This is a very small and condensed map, so things can go from 0 to 100 very quickly here as we do get to see 2 members going down there, and then Titans of Alterna using the Reef Slider, trying to clear up the space, not able to get anybody else. And we do get to see this Rainmaker being picked up here by Wanna Splat, who's still being deterred backwards, but Wanna Splat is still holding on to this Rainmaker. They are 3 down. This push cannot continue on here, Inkai.
This whole match has been going super back and forth. On every push, each team both constantly has members going down in some sort of way, but Titans of Alterna was able to find that moment where they could make a quick breakaway push. But Splatlanders is trying to see if they could do it now. They only have 9 seconds left on the Rainmaker. Oh, but the Reef Slider comes in, making sure that Wanna Splat is unable to push it any farther.
And that was a critical stop there too. That could have gone out of control. But you noted there 9 seconds left on that timer. They pretty much just had to go for it. It was a point where you needed to go for it the entire time. But this is gonna be a quick push. It's a delayed 3 on top of it. They're trying to swim up to slam this one home, but it's 3 points remaining, and that was very opportunistic from Titans of Alterna that at least extends the lead here by a few bit more. 50 seconds left to go, and Splatlanders is now in the deficit for the first time this entire set, and I'd love to see if Titans of Alterna can keep this one up, but Splatlanders going 2 down is gonna help Titans of Alterna's case here. And guys, we could be in for a very fun finish.
Now, Humpback Rainmaker is one of those maps that we can flip in an instant because of how thin the right corridor is. You can, if you're able to muscle through that, you can just a straight shot run for the goal, because even the Rainmaker shots themselves covers so much area that it's hard to drop down on.
Yeah, 20 seconds left to go, by the way, on this timer here. Splatlanders has one last chance for the push to happen. They're carving a lot of spaces. Reef Slider has to be clutch, trying to jump up to the unnickable side, and that's not going to happen anymore, and the Rainmaker is not going to respawn out of its bubble. We are in for an extended set here, Inkai, as Titans of Alterna's on the board this set.
You know, they're able to keep it cool, and they were able to find an opportunity when Splatlanders was down after that attempt to rush the left side check, and after they're able to clear them out, they pretty much got a one-way ticket all the way to their right check, which allowed them to set up and get the initial lead flip, putting Splatlanders on the back foot for the first time of this set. They're one of their key to victory there. Keeping their mental calm is going to be very important from now on, because they have to win the next 4 in a row in order to secure the set.
And I love the quick response from Titans of Alterna. I think, although I would like to say though, that was a little silly trying to force the left hand side when usually the right checkpoint where you have a straight shot to get the slam home is kind of deciding, let's try not go left. I'm not entirely sure what the thought process there was for Splatlanders, but they got burned hard, trying to make that left side even work, and they left the Rainmaker in such an easy position for Titans of Alterna to counter back at it. So now with Barnacle Time Clan Blitz being very stally, and the fact that Titans of Alterna only just changing weapons on the roller there, I'd imagine this is now just okay. You took a map off of us from Splatlanders. We're just gonna try to see if we're gonna go back to what has worked well for us. Inkai, I think Splatlanders had the wake up call of try not to be too silly or too cute with that Rainmaker push. I think Splatlanders though is gonna get their stuff cleaned up here.
Yeah, what's going to be very important for them is either going to be the roller or the tent being able to make a breakaway push, because because the roller unchecked has a really big potential to snowball because they can clear out the either people on the plat or by the basket, and they can set up bubble, giving protection and free jumps to allow their teammates to score even more clams. So we can see if Cyan, yeah, if Cyan is able to rush in and be able to find some picks in order to open up some pushes for Splatlanders.
Big thing here with the comp changes. Ampri is going with Dynamos. They continue with the cooler option. Jerry and Chris is going with the weapons. I believe won them the second game of this best of 9. That was the Clan Blitz map. So these are very solid changes here from Splatlanders. I've noted here too though. This is a map where things can get stally here real quickly. As we do see already right out the gate, it's 2 down, so that means Silence Alterna can quickly get the clan economies built up there, but they gotta win out some of these fights to make this one happen. Pinecone, no value right out of the gate with the Reef Slider, and they are just have to retreat. So this is now a little bit more patient, more coordinated play as much as they can, but they also can't push themselves up too far because this situation happens. They went 3 down. Splatlanders did a great job trying that one down before things got out of control.
Yeah, that moment was a battle for their plat, because if Titans of Alterna was able to take that, they were able to get a wipe on the plat. They were going to be able to set up a really strong defensive position there, because that plat is so important on Barnacle Dime. Because that is your only defensive option on retake. So if you're able to get that, you pretty much have a straight shot in order to start scoring clams on the board.
Yep. And now 340 left to go in this game, and we do have just the one special that is available that just got popped, and Splatlanders has won out all these fights. But do they have a power clam right away? Because this might still be Titans of Alterna's time to still hold firm to this one, and it didn't look like there was that clam that was available. So yes, you take out 3, but where were the clams? Nowhere to be found right out of the gate. They were able to get the power clam spawned in. They are still having some decent control around the territory of Titans of Alterna there. They gotta just keep themselves alive. Taking out Pinecone's gonna help matters here. They're kind of just trying to pass a lot of this, and in fact they wipe out Titans of Alterna. That was pretty nice, but short.
Oh, but they missed the clam!
What happened on that
throw? The rollers didn't pick it back up.
Got it.
Yeah, they were able, a little bit of clan mismanagement earlier there, because no one on the side of Splatlanders was going for to pick up that power clam, and they absolutely could have explored the push, but was able to hold back Titans of Alterna long enough in order to make 2 more power clams in order to get the score down back to 47. But now Titans of Alterna is moving up very fast in order to try to take as much control of mid as possible in order to set up their push of their own. The Reef Slider taking out 2 there. Now is only the T-Tech left for defense, but unfortunately goes down to the Ink Mine and Bomb combo.
Yeah, that's just a little unfortunate. They're going down with that Ink Mine on top of things, and this is in Titans of Alterna. Still decent amount of time for them to get themselves set up here. They just gotta find value here. The brush can't find the pick, and it's at this stage. I'd like to see if that brush can find any value or any flanks. They're getting outmaneuvered around, lost to the Order T-Tech on top of things, and it's just not helping their cause right now for Titans of Alterna. They go 2 down. It is just 1 member down on the side of Splatlanders there, and things are just slowing down to a crawl for the most part. It's just a power clan that is just available for there, and just quickly dropped. Titans of Alterna tried to get themselves set up, but it didn't look like there was much success here. Inkai, things there, and Splatlanders have done a great job so far holding on defense, and they're gonna get another push in.
Yeah, Splatlanders is able to get a clean push in, but at that moment, Titans of Alterna had very strong control of their core, and are able to quickly stop that push, and they weren't able to get much value out of it. I think they only scored, they weren't even able to score any points out of that, but does allow Splatlanders to at least break away at their checks. So 1 power clam will completely take out that penalty and score an extra 4 points on top of that. But now we have the rush and the T-Tech on Splatlander's plat, but gets cleared out by the roller.
Yeah, cleared out by the roller for the most part here. 30 seconds left, though, and again for this at this stage for Times of Alterna, the big thing they have to do now is they got to keep everybody alive, but then they also have to win out some of these fights if they can, because look at Splatlanders, they got another power climb that is readily available. If they can make this one count, Dynamos get at least game value. They're taking out Cyan with this one. They pop the cooler here. Inkai at this point for Times of Alterna, they're gonna be entering overtime. They got to make one desperate push.
And you do that, but they're all going down, unfortunately. And with the Splatlanders, they had a power clam in reserve, but unfortunately, Times of Alterna's clam goes down, giving the set to Splatlanders 5-1.
And congratulations to Splatlanders. They're moving on to the next round, and they've other than the very interesting game 5 we saw from Humpback Rainmaker that we saw earlier today here. This was they played their game the entire way through, and Times of Alterna just didn't have any responses. We saw for the most part that Times of Alterna tried to outmaneuver pretty much the same way we tried to assist with that. That Splatlanders was just playing on another level here in this entire set.
And they're the way that Splatlanders was able to quickly take the initial push, and their initial pushes as far as they could. I think on Rainmaker they brought it back. They were able to quickly clear the right shack, and then was able to shift the left or to go down to like 24, and then on the clams games being able to get such strong early pushes is very valuable in Clam Blitz, because Clam Blitz can be quite a stally mode. So if you can get a very strong initial lead, that puts the enemy team on such a back foot where they have to do everything they can in order to keep as many players alive as possible in order to be able to even have enough clams to retake the lead, even if they can push.
And for sure. So that wraps up this particular best of 9 program. Though I am hearing words from production here. We might be in for a bit of a treat for the most part coming into this one. But Splatlanders will be moving on to the next round. Times of Alterna doing their part. Tried to do their part, but just fell a bit short to how Splatlanders played throughout the night. Inkai, I think we are in for, from what I'm hearing, a fun little matchup coming up ahead, but I'm not sure how true this is going to be.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we are doing. The play all 9 was the play all 9 was confirmed. All right. Now we're going back. Now we're going to ship shape zones. I'm actually going to be expecting a Dreadbringer on both sides because not only is the zone fairly reef slide cheesable, not like I don't think you can retake it with just a reef slider, but that with a little bit of paint is able to, and the roofs in mid give a very strong vantage point for Dreadbringers to just keep to hold their area by just having like a constant output of paint on that area on either the zone or a little bit past the roofs in mid.
So I think Inkai, I'm gonna note here. I think we might be in for something very hilarious that is gonna be happening here. By the way, this was also just confirmed by production. There's gonna be no play all 9. It's gonna be a half-baked CCA tradition.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It is a half-baked CCA tradition here because, from what I'm told, one more game left in the tank for tonight's stream. Everybody, so again, production has informed me that, and us by technicality, that this might be a very silly meme game up ahead. I need to know. I understand.
Oh, the quad brushes. Okay, the quad brushes versus the
now.
quad tent. So we have on Titans of Alterna we have Octobrush, Order Brush, Octobrush Nouveau, and the Imposter Paintbrush. And on the side of Splatlanders we have 4 V tents. So that zone for at least for the brushes, keeping that zone painted is going to be a very arduous task because you could just shoot the 10 shield and that covers a solid amount of the zones, especially when you have 4 of them.
I'd be wondering if 4 brushes will win against 4 tents today. I feel like this game's gonna prove otherwise. As I'm looking at this match just play out, it looks like the Legion of 4 tents is not winning out here, Inkai. I don't know what's giving me that impression so far. All I can see is just brushes moving around as much as they can, and I also gotta remember that the B tent has ink back.
These brushes are very easily maneuvering around these tents and are able to pick them off, as seen from like the early initial wipes, and the fact that even with the beacons they can't seem to get back onto the zone.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna be curious. Right, this is the paintbrush with the 10 missiles. That is also very. I'm taking a lot of moments here to understand understand how this entire gameplay with 2 octobrushes, by the way, with zipcasters to boot. The octobrush which has the rain, and then just the 10 missiles out of the paintbrushes. At least, you know what? I'll give them bonus points for this one, Inkai. They at least pick unique brushes. Splatlanders being a little lame with not having the other, by not picking the other tent. But I guess given the special that it has, I can kind of understand at the same time.
Yeah, I guess what they're trying to do is they're trying to use the 4 inkbacks to cheese the zone instead of having a Zuka option, but it doesn't seem to be working out in their favor too much because they can barely even get any value out of their back because the brushes don't even really have to fill it. They can just roll through and to try to get behind the tent and just kill them once they're behind them.
Yeah, right now the Legion of 4 tents able to at least get the recap there. Now they're moving up. They're moving up here. They got 82 points remaining. Will they outmaneuver 4 brushes? The survey currently says no. The answer is currently no because they take out 3 of them, and now it's a delayed wipe of the 4 tents. The 4 tents are not enough to stop an army of unique paintbrushes from wreaking havoc. I'm trying to figure it. Part of me wants hope that the Legion of 4 tents can win here, Inkai. So far, it's not looking great.
Yeah, because the tents just keep going down. Like when they try to push, I feel like every time they're gonna set up a push with the ink back, they're already 2 down, so they don't have any. So there isn't anyone to be able to give some paint support for said ink back in order to give them an opportunity to actually move around and get in order to contest the zone.
Well, the Zipcaster just instantly got value. Already took out 2. Okay, that's 3
and
with
3?
that Zipcaster. That was a
one Zipcaster? Impressive.
That was just the
Impressive.
one.
Yeah, that was great. Oh yeah, because the Zipcasters can just ignore the tent shields as well, so you could just teleport. It can essentially just teleport behind you and kill you even with the tent protection.
Yeah, and right now the 4 tents of Splatlanders trying to invent if 4 vacuums and 4 tents can show up whatsoever. Leading up to this one, they're down to 50 points remaining. It's basically the last ditch effort for our artists this year, with 4 brushes here being used. They take out 1. There's 2 inkbacks that are available. There are 2 inkbacks that are available. Are they even going to use it? They may not be able to because they may not be able to at this point. They use up 1. There's a second inkback being used. The other problem then becomes the inkback also can't necessarily paint when you're deploying it.
Ooh, yeah. The paintbrush did try to take out that tent on the top, the inkback on the top, but went down to the actual shot itself, leaving the zone to still be in a neutral position. But Titans of Alterna are able to cap it at the last minute, and then unless this inkback is enough to retake it on its own, then no. So the 4 fun triple brush versus the quad brush versus quad tank game goes to the quad brushes, proving that quad brushes is the superior comp.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to note this to all the audience out there who play Anarchy Open at some point later tonight. If you ever go into any Anarchy Open match, and I see you play the order, I guess we don't even need to include order. 2 vanilla Octa brushes, an Octa brush nouveau, and a paintbrush nouveau, and you win with that in Anarchy Open, I'll give you a cookie. That's all the prize you're gonna get from me. But yes, I guess the moral of the story here, as you mentioned, Kai, is the 4 brushes are indeed the most superior comp.
Yeah. Yeah. The mobility of the brushes is able to very easily get behind either the tent shields and Vax and can and punish them. So which is exactly what happened, along with the zip casters being able to completely phase through any of their defenses. It was almost kind of like it was almost like a soft counter in a way.
That is certainly true. Well, Anarchy Open, we sincerely apologize if we do see 4 brushes in your menu. We here at the CCA do not apologize for that. But all that being said and done, the final official score tonight is Splatlanders 5, Titans of Alterna 1. To conclude this quadruple header session here. Inkai, thank you for being my co-com for this Division 2 matchup here. We're going to be signing off here at this point. Where can the people find you first?
Oh, you can find me on primarily YouTube, where I stream as a flashlight fish VTuber. My YouTube at Inkai VT, but my YouTube channel's name is just Inkai. I'm also on Twitter, but it's just mainly just for video announcements. But I do have a couple of special streams special streams in the works because my anniversary was last month. I've just been busy, so I've unfortunately been unable to work on them as much as I'd like to.
Nice. And for me, you guys can find me, well, the usual Twitter and Blue Sky, Keon2570. Twitch is also the same thing. Twitter and Blue Sky for the nonsense, as always. Twitch for the variety. By the way, huge shouts to DRF for trooping through 4 games tonight in a row. Give the man his flowers by the end of the night, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be tired and wanting to go to sleep at some point down the road. But that is going to be it for both of us. Inkai, once again, thank you for being my co-com for this one. But guys, that concludes the rest of this quadruple header. More games tomorrow, by the way. I believe we have a triple header on the CCA and 2 more on Splatoon tournament tomorrow. Don't miss out on more playoff action because this weekend we'll continue on with more CCA playoffs. With Inkai and producer DRF, I'm Keon saying have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday or the beginning of your Sunday, wherever you are. We'll see you guys on Sunday for more CCA playoff action. Till then, take care. Have a good night.